used interchangeably by the drafters. And in fact, you look at some of the authorities here, the petitioners cite, they'll shift from insurrection in some instances and draw examples from treason or rebellion. So they are used very interchangeably. So we would argue that, sort of on the scale of violence and duration and scope and organization, the events of January 6th were more like a riot and far less than a rebellion. And insurrection is far closer to rebellion than it is riot.
How would you define insurrection?
Part of my whole thesis is that we can't define it, and that's in part why this is a non-justiciable question. But to the extent you push me, which you are, I would say it requires at least multiple considerations that go beyond what we had here. I think the duration has to be longer than 3 hours. I think the geographical scope has to be broader than one building. And you say, well, that was the U.S. Capitol. True, it wasn't the Pentagon. It wasn't. It was a singular node. The goal wasn't to nullify governmental authority and set up an alternative government. The goal, if one assumes the predicate that President Trump directed the crowd, which we reject, to get Mike Pence, Vice President Pence, to delay the certification. That's not nullification. And I understand it's violent, and I understand it's bad, but we, as I would submit, as lawyers in this process, need to distinguish those gradations, because